Welcome to the Retro Blood.
Can you believe this? It's Christmas Eve, and we got orders to bring in Santa Claus.
Cindy, if you don't go back to bed, Santa won't come.
He's not the only one.
What you might get up to? All those kiddies sitting on your knee all day?
I'd love to have you sitting on my knee.
Christmas carolers. I hate Christmas carolers. Those screeching boys, little blue sniffers. I warned you, Brad!
Mommy, you shouldn't have said that. It's naughty to say bad things about old people. Santa Claus will punish you.
Carpet Day! No!
Don't! It's gonna hurt our kids. We're not even sure it's him.
Not sure my ass. Look at the fur on that suit.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Retro Blood. As we enter our holiday horror month here on the Retro Blood, everybody. Alison, James Kline. We're super excited about this month. This is all of your Christmas holiday horror movies, brother. And we're starting up this one hot. And I mean hot, brother. Because we are talking a guy killing random drunk Santas. There's a shit ton of them in London. We have a peep show. We have a girl named Kate who had a strange boyfriend and just has all kinds of luck. Bad luck, at least. That's what it is. We have some family drama of a kid watching Santa fuck another girl, and he came insane, kind of like that plot in Christmas Evil. Because yes, brother, we are talking all about Don't Open Till Christmas, brother. Alison, James Kline, what's happening, Alison? How do you feel about our holiday episodes here? I'm super excited, and I'm just going to say something. I love this movie, and how many peep shows have you visited this week?
I've never been to a peep show ever, but I am pretty excited about the holiday season. This movie was really good. This movie was amazing.
You like this movie too? I thought you were gonna hate it.
I liked it a lot. No, I love this.
Bro, I love this movie too. This movie, I think this movie was like made for us. It had the right amount of cheese that we like in our horror films, and it just like there's just so much random shit going on everywhere. You know what I mean?
It was pretty random. Like I'm not sure why anything in this movie actually happened.
Yes.
It's a little bit light on plot, but and I really don't know what happened at the end of it, but we'll talk about that though.
Yeah, but there is reasons why the plot was all kind of funky. We'll talk about that when we talk about who booked this shit, because there's a lot of drama going on with the booking of this particular movie. But I don't know, like this one was just really fun. Like I really liked it. I thought it was like just so like wacky, but like very like London, like 1970s London or some shit. Like it's just really cool. I liked it. I like the dirtiness of the film too. Kind of like it's kind of like, you know, a little bit of raunchy also too. Yeah. And I want to ask you a question, Alison. What the hell was going on in London during 1980s? I mean, we got a fucking orgy house that we had last week. Now we got a fucking peep show.
Well, I don't think any of that's really unusual for the time. Like in the 70s and the 80s, I think in really big cities like that, like London and New York City, I think that stuff was really common.
Kind of like the strip clubs nowadays, huh?
Well, I mean, you had strip clubs then too, but like, I don't know. I'm sure there's a documentary about it somewhere, but the pre-VHS porn industry was completely different than it is now. And like people were making porn to make money, but they had to find some way to, you know, make money on it to get these people to watch these movies, and they would just do it in a theater. Like they would have theaters that were dedicated to it. There used to be one in Asheville.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Like like up until like the mid '80s.
Did you get your ticket?
At least there was one. I was a little young for it then.
I could probably just sneak
in.
They
didn't let people in 5th grade in, but where the Fine Arts Theater is now, that used to be a porn theater.
I like it. Maybe I can go there and be like, yo, this is the wrong show that I was looking for. All right. I'll be like our
But,
boy. I'll be
like,
like
as
our
far
boy.
as-
I'll be like our boy, the Santa Claus who went into the peep show. Be like, this is my
Yeah.
first time. I'm just some sort of mall Santa. What do you do?
But
He's
like
I dance.
The peep show. But like the
love
peep
it.
show thing, like I don't really understand it. Like, I mean, I guess it's just what it seems like it is. Like you go in there and then like there's a light on in the booth, so she can't really see you. Although she could in this movie apparently, but
Yeah.
I'm guessing that there's light on in the booth, so she can't really see you that well. And then you talk to her through the phone, and then you give her money to take off her clothes. I guess.
Yeah. They explain the rules. All right, in the film.
Well, they do explain the rules.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll go.
but,
We'll go.
like, I
over
don't know.
that.
I think it's weird, but I mean, I think it's a weird thing. Like when you could just go to a strip club.
And you know what? This is more one-on-one
what I mean?
personal. You know what I mean? I kind of like it a
Well,
little
that's
better.
true. It is more one-on-one personal, and it's probably cheaper than getting the lap dance.
Yeah.
I would imagine. So
Yeah, I don't blame you.
yeah, you're probably right. That's probably why.
But we got a lot to talk about. We'll get into the
Yeah.
history stuff in a segment. I just want to let everybody know we've been plugging the YouTube channel a lot, and I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe every month. We'll see. I mean, every week. We'll see. But, you know, we got a lot of stuff on there right now. I released the new Retro Blood short of talking all about Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Everybody check it out. It's about like 10 minutes. And the way I did it was really interesting. I did the voice over AI. So I was like having like, what would AI have to say about Halloween 6? If you guys ever wondered out there what AI would say about the classic that is Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, check it out on the Retro Blood YouTube channel. Because boy, this guy AI, he was saying some shit on there that I would never say in my life. But he loved it apparently. So
Yeah, I guess it's a movie made for AI.
yeah,
I suppose.
bro, you gotta listen to this, Alison. If you haven't yet, I know you've been a little busy doing your Alison stuff. But the way the AI explains it, it's just like so like detailed with all these fancy fucking words and shit. I'm just like, you know, and nobody who made this fucking movie even knows what this guy's talking about. But I loved it. It's a really fun review. So everybody check that out in there. And I also released the next chapter in the Retro Blood mini movies, the Krampus version. So everybody check that on there. And of course, you can find full episodes of the Retro Blood on there. Plus, you can find clips of the Retro Blood on there. And of course, give the Instagram and Facebook so much love because, you know, help the show out, guys. You know what I mean? If y'all help us out, we'll help you out. You know, we're kind of like, me and Alison, we're kind of like the Inspector Paul on this fucking movie. You know what I mean? We're there. We're giving advice. We're going by the rules or something. But then in the end, we couldn't figure out what the hell is going on. His character is weird.
Exactly. So yeah, check out the Instagram. It's what is it? official_retroblood_pod.
Yeah, it should be on the link. So whatever you're listening to on your chosen podcast system, the link should be there too. Everybody check us out and give us some love and get some love to the Facebook group page. Hey, if y'all have some podcasts you want to drop on there, go ahead. If y'all have some discussions you want to do, go ahead on there. I'm starting to give us a little love. But back to the action, as they say. Let's get into the history segment like we do on every Retro Blood, where we talk about what is going on in the world of the pro wrestling and the metal music around the movie release date. We do this because, you know, the holiday season, brother, you don't just get one gift. You're supposed to get multiple gifts, unless you've been naughty like our boy Giles was in this movie. Then he probably only got like one gift. But we offer at the Retro Blood, we offer more gifts. So we're going to be talking about what is happening in the metal and the pro wrestling. And mentioned the release date on this movie that I got in the U.S. That's the one we're using, is December 19th, 1984. Alison, I heard that you have stuff for both. So what do you want to tell us?
First thing I wanted to bring up is a band that you've probably never heard of, but I guarantee you've heard this song. So the band is called Autograph.
Oh, okay.
And the song is called Turn Up the Radio.
Interesting.
So when I was a little kid, I loved this song. And I listened to it again the other day. And I still love this song. It's the only Autograph song I know of. I mean, I know they were a decently kind of big band, like in 1983, 1984. But they released a single for Turn Up the Radio on December 19th, which is the day this movie came out. They had a bunch of albums. And I think this is from their first one. Yeah, called Sign In, Please. But this song is called Turn Up the Radio. It's just really catchy, kind of a hair metal song. It's got all the... it's definitely like... it's definitely kind of a... what's a good word to use? It's definitely Eddie Van Halen influenced. Like he does... Guitar player does all the Eddie Van Halen, like... Floyd Rose tricks and the tapping and all that stuff, because all that shit was huge at that time.
Yeah.
Steve Lynch, I think is his name. But this song is just really catchy. It's just a really, really good song. It's like one of those bands that, like, I mean, I guess they're a one-hit wonder. I don't know. They probably had more hits than that, but that's the only one I can really think of. But it's this perfect catchy song. Like it just sums up 1984 to me. Like it's just like this catchy, super catchy song. It's great. I mean, it's great. It's cheese. It's total just corn cheese.
I like it. Perfect to go with this
movie. But it's awesome. It would go with this movie perfectly. Maybe we can play it for the people at the end of the episode there.
Hell yeah.
So also, another thing I found too was the next day, which also relates to this movie a little bit. We talk about this band a lot, but they're so good that I don't think you can talk about them too much, especially during this era. So December 19th, this movie came out. But also on December 20th in London at the Lyceum Ballroom, Metallica was on tour, and they played one of the last dates of the Ride the Lightning tour at that.
They were in London?
Venue in London.
Dang.
They were in London, yeah. So maybe they were like running around with the Santas.
Yeah, well, I mean, I definitely know probably one of them went to the Peep show. They're definitely running around the Santas, and I'm pretty sure at least one of the band members probably saw this at like, where do you think they would actually show this movie? All right.
I think this movie played at second run movie theaters. Yes. Like this movie played at movie theaters that couldn't get whatever the new movie was that came out this week. So I don't know what it was. We'll say it's E.T. That's not right, but let's say it was E.T. So your movie theater can't get E.T. But we do have this movie, Don't Open Till Christmas. It's a Christmas movie. Yeah. Why don't you run this? Like, okay, it's better. It's better than having nothing new. So we'll do that.
Apparently, this movie was in the theaters when it was released in the United States. Because it was released by the 21st Century Film Corporation. It actually opened in New York. So I guess it maybe had like a little bit of a run in the UK big market. You never know.
Oh, I'm sure it did. I'm sure it ran in the UK too. But, like a movie like this, was the movies at this time were made to be shown in movie theaters because even though home video existed, nothing was really made for home video at the time. So, you wouldn't, it's not like it would be in the late 80s or early 90s where, the direct to video movie would exist where, we're going to spend exactly this amount of money to make this movie because we know that it'll get exactly this amount of rentals from, these certain people in the video store. But, like movies like this, horror movies at this time, pre-1985 at least, were all made to be shown in movie theaters. And, these people were like, some of them were exploitive, like they were exploiting the fans of, Halloween and things like that. But, I thought this movie was pretty original. And I think that they really did try to make a good movie that would be released in movie theaters. So I'm sure this ran in, movie theaters. It just probably ran in like second run movie theaters. It probably didn't run the movie theaters that could get the good movies, I guess we'll say.
Yeah, buddy. So what do you got for us on the pro wrestling side? What are we going to be
pro wrestling? With pro wrestling, there wasn't a ton going on. The only thing I could really find was Jim Crockett Promotions had their annual Christmas show, which was on the 25th. They had a lot of things going on in it. One thing I wanted to mention was, I'm not going to go through this entire card. Ricky Steamboat, Dick Slater, and NWA Tag Team Champion Dusty Rhodes defeated NWA TV Champion Tully Blanchard, Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Champions Black Bart, and Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Champion Ron Bass. Yep. So that was a bunkhouse match.
Oh, the bunkhouse returned.
Yeah, so that would have been amazing. Ricky Steamboat, Dick Slater, and Dusty Rhodes versus Tully Blanchard, Black Bart, and Ron Bass. Ron Bass returns to the Retro Blood in a bunkhouse match. That would have been awesome.
You think Ron Bass? You think he likes Santas or no?
Oh, I'm sure he does. He looks like the guy that would love Santas, even though he's kind of an evil guy in wrestling. I think he would love Santas. J.J. Dillon was there because he was managing Ron Bass at the time, and he was tied to Magnum TA. So they were airing. So this went live on television, but only 10 minutes of it aired, and then they ran out of time.
Oh, okay.
So they showed 10 minutes of the bunkhouse match. This also has a really cool thing too, because it had an appearance from American Starship. Which, are you familiar with them? They were a tag team.
I've heard the name before, but I'm not super familiar with them.
Yeah, so it's kind of so they were two guys. They were named. I'm pulling this off the top of my head, but they were Starship Eagle and Starship Coyote, and they had a tag team called American Starship. And Starship Eagle was Dan Spivey, and Starship Coyote is Scott Hall. So it's kind of like between when Scott Hall went to the WWE.
Oh, interesting.
And after he was the Diamond Stud, I guess. Or maybe this would have been before he was the Diamond Stud.
Yeah, this is before, because I think he mostly was a Diamond Stud in the 90s of WCW. Because I don't think he went to. I don't think he went to the E or the F. EF. I don't think he went to the WWF until 92, I believe. I think it was 92, because I remember him being at the. I remember him being pretty heavily featured at the Survivor Series, 92, I believe. So.
Yeah, so that'd been about the time he appeared, but nothing huge. We don't always have huge stuff. But I thought that was interesting that we had that bunkhouse match that Ludo got to see 10 minutes of on the TV before it ran out of time.
I know.
And then we got
they have a history.
Then we got American Starship. Exactly.
So what the hell?
I guess they at that time they didn't have the clout that Tony Khan has, or he can make the TV time go longer if he needs to.
Yeah, you could just do an overrun because you have heavy competition on the other side.
Then.
Yeah.
Exactly. Can't do an overrun now or then.
Well, that's pretty.
But exciting. Those are the big things that I found.
Cool little stuff. You know what I mean? You get a couple opener up presents before you get to the main present. So I like it. Before we talk about who booked this shit, we got to do one of our holiday traditions that we do on the Retro Blood every December. And Alison, that is talking about what beer are you drinking right now? It better be a holiday version.
It is. I haven't drank a beer in a week, so I thought I'd pull one out tonight. And you inspired me by your holiday beers from last week, so I'm drinking a holiday beer this week. We'll be drinking holiday beers all through all the episodes this month, probably
every episode.
So yeah, do you have a holiday beer too, or
yes?
No?
So I am drinking the. So you're like this one, everybody out there too. Mm-hmm. I'm drinking the Ninja Bread Man.
Oh, I love that. I have one of those too.
The Holiday Porter beer brewed with spices, and boy, it's from Asheville Brewing Company, and they do a great darker beer. Usually, what is it the Ninja Porter is they're all year round darker style, and their holiday one is the Ninja Bread Man, which it's I like the can, I like the taste. It's definitely a great one. So anybody ever visiting around the Asheville regions, I definitely recommend you getting this one because it tastes fantastic.
Yeah, it's so good. It's like a gingerbread version of the Ninja Porter.
Yeah.
I don't really like candy bar beers a lot, and I would consider that a candy bar beer, but that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's spicy. It's really hard to describe.
Yeah.
But it does taste like gingerbread. Kind of.
Yeah, it does have like a little aftertaste of gingerbread, and it's you could tell it's a stout, and you could tell that it has it's like a stout with spices on it, so it's really good. Yeah, so I recommend everybody checking it out. So I don't know, it's just really smooth. Like I you can't go wrong with it. So, but like you were saying, we'll be drinking all kinds of different holiday beers here on the Retro Blood.
And with me, so I got something that we're doing this live on the air, so we don't know how this is going to turn out, but
let's do it.
So I don't know if you ever heard of the process of what they call cellaring beers.
Kind of. Like
basically
just keep it in the cellar.
So basically cellaring beer it's like wine. So if you buy a really high quality beer, you can put it basically in your cellar. So it's like it's kept cool but not cold, and it's kept out of the sun. And then it'll change its what's the word I'm looking for? Attributes over time. So it'll start to taste different, as it ages. So I didn't actually cellar this. I just forgot that I had it. So this is a Cold Mountain because you influenced me by your Cold Mountain from last week, I believe it was.
It was on the Lights Out show.
It was a Lights Out. Yeah, it was Lights Out. So on Thanksgiving.
Check it out in the archives, guys.
So I remembered that I had some old Cold Mountains. So this is one from 2020. So this is like a COVID era Cold Mountain that I still have. So it's almost 4 years old. It's 3 years old.
Well, let's see.
So we're going to pour this.
Let's see if it's going to taste
see
better.
How this turns out. It won't taste better. The Cold Mountain is not a beer that will cellar very well. But let's see how it tastes. Hopefully, it's not fucking flat. It's not flat.
Maybe.
It was sealed. It's not flat. So let's see what it tastes like. Smells good. It smells like beer.
It smells like it. Well, remember we were talking about the Cold Mountain before, where it's like nothing special too much, but people go crazy about it over here.
It's not good.
Oh, it tastes like
It's
3 years.
I don't know. Man. It's weird. It tastes really weird. Like it's like Let me try it again.
Well, sometimes you gotta like try it a couple times, and then it will start getting back to you. You know what I mean?
It's really the word I would use to describe it is Alka-Seltzer.
What the fuck? Okay, I think you should take a couple tips. It's not that bad. Maybe take a couple sips, all right? And then right
or like,
you know what I mean? Maybe like simmer a little bit, and then when we're half done the review, I'll come back to you and see if it tastes any better.
Let it air out. Yeah. It's like like when you're drinking a Coke, a fountain Coke, and there's too much carbonation in it.
Yeah.
There's like this syrup starting to run out. That's what it tastes like. It's kind of like it's real acrid, like really sour's not the word, bitter's not the word. It's just like I don't know. It's not good.
Just let
it air out and see how it goes.
Just give it a little bit. We'll see how it goes. But let's get this.
Let's get this train on the road.
Let's get this holiday train on the road, brother.
Train on the road. Yeah,
so this is the who booked this shit.
Oh God. Yeah.
You still can't handle it?
Sorry. This is terrible.
But once you get when you get like half there, it starts tasting a little better. All right, we'll see.
All right, here we go.
So this film is pretty interesting. Okay, so it was directed by Edmund Purdon. Hope I spelled his name right. I usually fuck up names. But the guy, Edmund, is actually also, not only is he the director, right? But he's also the guy who played the Chief Inspector Harris. Okay? So this guy was directing himself and putting himself over in the film. It's one of those gimmicks. You know what I mean? Where you're like,
sure,
you're the director, but yet you're the star. I guess he was kind of like this. I don't know if he was the star, but like, I don't know who the actual star was. But I guess he was one of the main characters, at least.
He was one of the main characters, yeah.
Yes. So here's what basically went down. Because like I said before, at the beginning, we had a little bit of drama. So not only we had some drama, but we also had a tragic a story happen as well too. So this film is definitely a little cursed when it comes to certain things. Okay, so the film began filming and stuff in December of 1982 and concluded in early 1984. So the film notably had numerous production issues, such as conflicts between the producers and the director and the star, Edmund Purdom. The issues would consistently result in filming dates being delayed and scheduling issues. Eventually, Purdom quit the production, and then our writer Derek Ford was hired to take over directing, but he was dismissed after only 2 days. So this guy came in there, is going to be writing up with some stuff, and they're just like, nah, brother, it don't work for me, brother. So get on out of here. It's like, damn, okay, 2 days? Fuck. And the film's editor, Ray Selfie, was then hired afterwards to direct, and Alan Birkinshaw was hired to rewrite the majority of the script. So we have 2 new people. We have a new director, and we have a new writer. Okay? Because of Purdom's departure, many scenes in the movie had to be reshoot. Yeah, because he was the fucking one of the main person. Or cut altogether.
Right.
Including a key scene featuring character of Dr. Brittle, portrayed by Nicholas Doley. Now, Dr. Brittle, I don't think he was almost in this film at all. All right?
No, according to this, they're saying the scenes were cut out entirely.
Yeah, so they basically cut out all of his shit. Like, there's like lost. Unfortunately, I did order the Blu-ray for this film, but it didn't come in time for us for our scheduled review. I don't know if that Blu-ray would have the Dr. Brittle scenes in it or not. Because, me and you, we probably watched this on Shudder. And the Shudder doesn't have, extra features or nothing. But I really wanted the Blu-ray to come in to see if I could see the extra stuff. It just, our scheduling time didn't coincide with Amazon's shipping.
Yeah, so. Fuck Amazon. Actually, they're usually pretty good. Do you have the Amazon Prime or are you...
I got the Prime, but, when you buy it from, this ain't let's just say this wasn't an Amazon choice. That little choice.
Oh, I see. You bought it from a third party seller, so you get it whenever you get it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So, but I really wanted this movie because I remember watching it before and liking it, but then when I rewatched it, I really like it. So I'm glad to have it in my collection now. But then, so since all this stuff happened, it was resulted in recasting of numerous characters since many original actors were not available to return for reshoots. But, however, we got a swerve. Purdom would eventually return to the production to finish directing and reprising his role as the Inspector Harris. This resulted in the production using the original ending as written before Purdom's departure, which, yes, this is the ending that they used the whole time, brother. Okay.
So hold on a second. Let me make sure I understand this correctly.
Yes.
So Purdom, they hired this guy to make this movie, and then he was going to produce it, write it, direct it, and star in it.
Well, I don't know if he was the writer, but he was the director and he was the star.
And the star.
Yeah, it was written by Derek Ford and Ellen Birkinshaw.
Okay. But they were hired though.
Yeah, they were
after
hired.
He was. So
yeah.
But anyway, so basically he was going to direct it and star in it.
Yes.
But then he gets fired after he starts making it. So then they hire these other guys to come in and reshoot the movie, essentially.
Yes.
Because now he's not in it anymore, right?
Yeah, he's not in it.
So they can't use him as a character. So they reshot it with new actors.
Well, then he comes back. Like one new actor at least.
Well, at least for him. But then they're saying that a lot of the actors had to be recast because they couldn't come back to do the reshoots.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess they. On certain characters they had to recast the whole people. Yeah.
So then he comes back again, though.
Yes.
So then they could use all the original footage again.
Yes, and they cut out all the shit they did there before.
Seems like right, this just seems like a clusterfuck.
Pretty much, yes. And to be honest with you, you can kind of tell because there were certain plot lines in this or the show that was like, okay, this is kind of just all over the place. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. So also too, this film, which I didn't realize this, and this is pretty interesting. So we did talk about, it got a theater release date in New York in the United States, December 1984. So also too, it was first released on VHS in the United States and the United Kingdom by Vestron Video. But also, I didn't. This is kind of an interesting too, because since the film is believed to be public domain, it has numerous entertainment companies has released it on DVD. So that's pretty interesting. So this movie is like not owned by anybody. It's like public domain. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So we could do a sequel, brother.
We could do a sequel to it. We could release this movie. When we get your Blu-ray in, we could just rip that and then put our own Blu-rays out if we wanted to, because it's public domain.
That's fucking awesome, bro. I would love to do.
Nobody owns it.
Don't open fucking till Christmas 2. Fucking bro, I'd make this shit the raunchiest fucking film known to man. All right, Peep Show back. We got that Sharon girl taking photographies with her titties hanging out, brother.
Would you set it in 1984 or 85, or would you set it in modern times?
That's a good question. I mean, how could you? The problem is, how could you actually get this movie to move forward? Though, like, what would be the sequel part to it? You know, who am I supposed to get? Is it supposed to be Cliff or something? And I can get in his. I think he was like one of the only survivors.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say there were survivors. We could have. But to avoid the problem with the actors, we could have all new cast members.
Yeah.
So we could have an all new cast with all new characters, and then I don't know, like have some kind of Santa problem.
We might have to figure it out.
That involves something.
What I'll do is when we do the full review at the end, I'll give you guys my idea for a sequel, because I kind of have one. Okay, but I do want to talk about something that's tragic that happened during the whole release of this film. Not really during the shooting, but during the release of this film. So the actor Alan Lake. Okay, he's the one that portrayed Giles or Gil. I think it's Giles Harrison.
Giles.
Yes, he was
Giles.
Yeah. What was it?
Giles.
Oh, that's a pretty interesting name.
Yeah.
Giles Harrison. He was the Harrison's brother. You know, the character Chief Inspector.
He was Ian Harris's brother. Yeah, but way to spoil that for the people. But yes.
Oh, come on.
That's a significant plot.
Why the hell would you listen to the Retro Blood without watching the fucking movie?
If you haven't seen the movie.
But if you have, if you guys haven't, we're gonna say what we say. Okay. But anyway.
we always tell people you should watch the movie before you listen to the episode.
Yes. So
it's your own fault.
This guy Alan, he was an actor. He mostly did a lot of British TV shows and stuff. But apparently what he was best known for was being the final husband of the screen star Diana Doris. Have you ever heard of Diana Doris?
Nope.
Okay, so apparently Diana Doris, she was basically kind of like the British version of like the blonde bombshell. Like the big like blonde bombshell. Like she was like a Marilyn Monroe figure. Jane Mansfield. Yeah. She was like that kind of figure too. Like she was known to be in like, so apparently her first husband, this guy named Dennis, he had her in some like sex film comedies, risque modeling shows. So she kind of got a big following from that. And then she would also be in the tabloids for having like big house parties. So she was kind of like that like sex figure. She was basically like the high-end sex figure for London at the time, when I guess like that stuff was kind of like new to them, having some sort of like dominant like figure, like sex figure on TV. She was going through some I guess some husbands at the time, and apparently she like passed away. I'm not exactly sure how. Let's see.
Apparently she was married to Richard Dawson.
Yes.
Who was the host of the Family Feud. That's how I know him.
Yes. Yeah, she had like a couple husbands, but the guy Alan that we're talking about, that was like the last husband she had, and she had him when she underwent surgery to remove some cancerous tumors, and then she collapsed at her house. She had some stomach pains, and she died on May 4th, 1984, at the age of 52. All right, and I guess she just had a form of cancer, so she died from that. And unfortunately, her husband, Alan, he was, basically what happened with him is that he, after having this news in the wake of everything, Alan, he actually they committed suicide a little bit after the wife died, Doris died. So he actually committed suicide before this movie even came out.
So I thought that the sad part was going to be that his wife died, but you didn't leave us there.
No.
Not only did she die, but he also committed suicide.
Yeah, he committed suicide because of the sadness of losing his wife.
Yeah, way to bring us down, James.
Hey man, I'm sorry. It's like, so he passed away on October 10th, 1984, and of course this movie was released on December 19th, 1984. So pretty tragic, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, it's just horrible, you know? Like sometimes they just, you know, it's just tragic, basically. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things in the human life, you know? Sometimes, like, you know, obviously they had a fantastic relationship, or else he maybe, you know, wouldn't end his life, you know, if obviously the relationship was great and he had a lot of, you know, just he had a love as his life, his partner. So it's a pretty crazy story. But actually, you know, this guy, he was pretty interesting. Like, I thought, like, his actual character was a little, I mean, in this movie, he's a little goofy. Like, he was kind of like the crazy psycho guy who I felt like the movie was trying to portray him as not the killer. And then, like, okay, well, we're just going to make him the killer. It's kind of like one of those things. He was so over the top that you're like, okay, he cannot be the killer because he's so over the top. But no, he just ended up getting the killer. So.
Right. It's one of those things where they, because you think that they're trying to kind of give you a red herring. Where they're trying to swerve you by pointing out this person that's so obviously the killer that he couldn't possibly be the killer. There has to be, it's like an anti-swerve. It's not, there's no swerve. He actually is the killer.
Yeah, he actually is.
But you think there's going to be a swerve, and you just don't see it coming.
Yeah, I just thought that was super interesting because, like, a lot of movies will, like, do, like, these characters, you know what I mean? Even in the 80s, they did this all the time. They would have these characters where, like, oh, this guy's acting a little weird. Maybe he could be the killer, and then they don't end up being the killer. They're just dumb, or they're just fucking, you know, just weird. No, this guy just happened, he was crazy the whole movie, and he just happened to be the killer.
Yep. So. Do you think that when people write movies with swerves like that, you know, like The Sixth Sense and things like that, Saw, movies like that, do you think they write the swerve first and then write the movie backwards based on the swerve?
I mean, you can. I mean, you can do that. Like, a lot of films do start with the ending first, and then you just work your way backwards. So,
because I know that I'm pretty sure that Agatha Christie said that when she wrote all of her murder mysteries, she wouldn't start writing until she knew how it ended. Yeah. So, and which I took as like she basically wrote the ending first and then wrote the book around it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's a form of writing. Like some people do it different. Like some people will do it in sections. Like you'll write one scene and you do another scene and you try to connect them, or you know, I think it's very rare if you just think of a story from the very beginning and then try to work your way towards the ending. It's mostly you got your ending done and you work your way backwards, because then you can connect everything and you could do a lot more, like, you know, Easter eggs, or you could do a lot more, like, you know, like hints throughout the whole film. So
yeah, plus you know where you're going.
Yes.
You don't end up just wandering around and aimlessly, and then trying to make it concise and tight at the end.
So apparently this movie, through a lot of like critics and stuff, like they all hated this shit. Okay, and I was like,
kidding.
Bro, they gave it like 1.5 out of 5 stars. Like you would have thought this is a wrestling crowd with these fucking haters. Okay, barely watchable. All right, there's very little redeeming qualities about Don't Open Till Christmas. You know what I mean? He betrayed me. You know, he came back. You know, I'm just trying to think of some wrestling shit they would say. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this guy's saying like the movie was barely watchable. Come on, it's a lot better than that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a lot. But there are a lot worse movies than that. I would like to show this man some movies. You know, we've reviewed worse movies on this podcast.
Oh yeah. This movie. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, and then the one guy's like has a lot of blood, sex, and a few laughs. I mean, what else do you need?
Exactly. What else do you need is some blood and some fucking sex, brother. And like how I do like how everybody died the same in this movie. We all get one stab to the stomach, brother. That's all we can afford. Okay,
that's all we can afford. I can only afford to do that shit one time.
One time. But I say let's get into the full review of Don't Open Till Christmas. Let's do it.
Present from the people who brought you Friday the 13th. Now comes Don't Open Till Christmas.
A homicidal maniac is loose at Christmas. His target is Santa Claus. No one dressed as Santa Claus is safe. His death toys are a spear, a gun, an open razor, a dagger, or a garrote. Execution by any means. Don't open till Christmas. Some Santa Clauses ignore the warnings. He surely wouldn't attack a woman. Don't open till Christmas with special guest star Carolyn Monroe.
Yes, I am. I'm coming to get you.
Terror drives one Santa Claus into a house of wax. Amidst the wax and plaster, a real body, warm flesh, wet blood. Don't open till Christmas.
What possible reason could I have for going around killing Santas?
Oh, none. No.
Yeah. I'm coming to get you.
So, Santa, did you bring me any presents?
I'm not the real one.
Starring Edmund Purdom, who knows there are only 3 more killing days till Christmas. Don't open till Christmas. If you do, you may not see in the new year.
So we start off the movie, right? And I already love this already. It's like we don't even get like it just movie. You know what I mean? Right when you click it on, there's no like intro, no black screen. It's just movie. Okay, and it's a Santa just walking around an alley. All right, and then a random girl comes up to him. All right, kisses the Santa. I was like, okay, I'm ready now. Sorry, I'm late. I'm like, okay, what's going on? They're like in an alley. Okay, there's a lot of alley scenes in this movie. Like this, apparently London, they love their alleys. Okay,
there's a lot of alleys in London for sure.
Yeah, so we hear some like heavy breathing. We kind of get that like first person view, just like fucking Halloween. All right. So next thing you know, the Santa and this girl, I guess it's his wife, they go back to the back seat of the car and start kissing. So I don't really know. Like, did they come from a party? Was this guy like a fucking mall Santa? Was he one of those Salvation Army Santas or something, getting some pennies and he found some hot ass? I have no idea. Okay.
We shall never know, but that's what I assume. Like, I assume that he had a job where he played Santa, because there's a lot of that in this movie. There's a lot of that idea of, you know, these people who are you know, work with children all day are kind of misbehaving after they're not playing Santa anymore.
Yeah. So they go in the car to make it out, right? And then the killer in the first person view like just goes right up and watches them in the car. All right, and then the girl knows it, and like the guy knows, he's like, hey, what the hell, get out of here. And she's like, oh, forget him. And they just start kissing. Like, oh, don't worry about this strange man watching us. Let's just fucking just go. You know what I mean?
Let's just go.
And then like eventually the guy's he can't take it, so he gets out of the car, right? And he just stabs him right in the stomach. So we got stomach stab number 1. If y'all want to play a holiday drinking game, I mean, the Retro Blood, we got you, brother, because there's a lot of stomach stabbing. So if you guys want to grab your shots, go ahead right now. All right. So then the girl gets out, and then she gets stabbed into the stomach, and then we start the intro. All right.
Yeah.
Which I like this intro too.
We've already got 2 shots already before the intro.
Yes. Because we got 2. We could tell that the killer, he likes to stab people in the stomach, and he has one of those like little like, it looks like one of those blades that you shave your face with.
Yeah, it's like a straight razor.
Razor, yeah. And
I believe.
And the intro, I liked it. Was cool. It was like very old school 80s like Santa toy, and it was on fire. I was like, that's cool. I like that. Okay. Then Alison and everybody. I don't know what the hell was going on with this scene, but I fucking loved it. We're at a fucking, it's 1984, but this looks like it's 1970s fucking party. Yeah. Okay. And apparently this is a Christmas party, but it looked like it was a fucking Halloween party because there was like clowns in there. There was people dressed up like in fucking mask Like, what kind of, bro? Where is this party, and how come I wasn't invited? Because I like. Okay.
I don't know why there were clowns. That part I can't figure out.
There was clowns. There was the masked little troll thing they were talking about. Like, but this was like a holiday Christmas party. So I was like, bro, I'm down. Okay. And then check this out. You like this? So we meet the Santa. Yeah. He's getting himself ready. It's the dad of the girl we're gonna meet later. Is Kate. They were saying some lines that I probably can't repeat in 2023. You just got to watch that part for yourself. All right. But I like it when the guy, the character name, it was Cliff. Cliff Boyle. We'll meet him later on. But he comes in and is like, guys, this part is wild, man. It's going to be an orgy out there. I'm just like, what? What? We meet the clown? Is that the orgy part? Like, let's go. Bro, this London, like, this is the place to be in the 80s, man. They don't
This is swinging London for sure.
Yeah, they don't care.
They're So it's all out there.
So I guess like the dad was supposed to be like the Santa Claus for the evening. I'm not really sure. Mm-hmm. So we find out later on he's like rich and shit. So I'm not sure if this is like his company party or something. But he comes out on stage. He's about to do a whole speech, and then randomly he gets speared. Okay, with a spear
to the back of the
behind the back of the head, and then everybody just like is quiet. It's like no freaking out. They're just quiet. And then like the Kate freaks out. And then they're like, because Cliff brought up like the troll guy earlier. And then they found the troll like costume and he was like, it was empty. And that was it. It was just like such a strange scene. But I thought it was like just very interesting.
Yeah, it was just like this weird way to get this movie going.
Yeah.
Because the movie is really about, kind of centers on Kate from now on. Yeah. So it was just some weird way to get it from. I guess it was a weird way to make the killings affect her.
Well, this also kind of reminded me of like Friday the 13th Part 5, where we had to get a fucking kill like every 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like we already got 3 already. Let's go get that number up.
Oh yeah.
So this
movie's not even 5 minutes long.
Yeah, not even 5 minutes long. So everybody, like I said, everybody's confused and everything. And then the next thing you know, we cut to Scotland Yard. So everybody who listened to our podcast last week, you all should know about Scotland Yard. I can't even say it. All right, and how they were an American Werewolf in London.
And how effective they were.
So now they're back. Yes.
Yes. To help us solve this problem.
Yeah. So this is when we meet Inspector Ian Harris. He's the main inspector on the case. And we meet his I guess his Sergeant Powell, okay? And Powell said he got, and I guess I got my notes wrong here, but I swear he said, yeah, I talked to the girl's brother, and he was a little strange person, but it wasn't his brother, it's actually the boyfriend, okay? So I'm not sure if I heard that wrong, because they're all like, they have that heavy British voices, so. But she said they caught the Cliff. He's a little strange fella. And they said they can't really talk too much to Kate because she's kind of like in mourning right now. And then this is when they brought up to like the dad was rich. So they're thinking that because he was rich or something, it's either the kids are a suspect or maybe somebody from his company is like a suspect, because to try to get the money. So, which makes sense.
Yeah. So
now they go visit the Cliff and Kate. They talked to the Kate. She said like, the clue, she basically said she didn't see anybody. She didn't see who the killer was. They said the only clue that they had was actually the shrunken head or the troll. That's what I called it, the troll, but it was the shrunken head costume. So now like, so the biggest thing is like the two inspectors are trying to figure out, more clues about it, but they can't get a lot of straight answers from these kids. All right. So then we actually cut outside. So we hear like a newscast about the Santa murders. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is when we see a Santa. He's like smoking. All right. And this is when he was like smoking, but he's also roasting chestnuts over an open flame.
Yeah. This is not the guy that was roasting chestnuts on an open fire or whatever, like the songs. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. So I'm pretty sure, I didn't go back and check this, but I'm pretty sure that all of the music in this movie were Christmas carols, but played in a minor key.
Yes. Fantastic.
Like silent, like Silver Bells was played during part of it, and like it was like just like, but really, really dark and minor.
Yes,
it's pretty awesome.
So after he basically, the killer takes him and he fucking takes his face and roasts him on the fucking fire. So we got another kill. So we're at what, 4? I'm like, damn, we're going
4 already. We're maybe movie. 10 minutes into this movie.
Yeah,
we're probably 10 minutes into it now.
So now we have this motorcycle guy delivering a package to Ian Harris, and the package, he delivers it to his maid, but it's for the inspector. It's basically the package saying, don't open up until Christmas. And Ian, he's really busy, so he tells his housemate that he will see her on Christmas Eve. Okay, he'll be able to talk more about her on Christmas Eve, but he has to really go right now because of all this madness that's happening with all these Santa murders.
Yes.
It
just sounds ridiculous when you say it like that. Yes. The Santa murders.
The Santa murders, brother. So now we have Ian and we have Pal. They're talking about what might be the motives of this Santa killing. And they kind of bring up like maybe it's gang related, but like, nah, I don't think it's really gang related. So there's a gang out there.
As soon as he said that, like I was just thinking of the Warriors.
Yeah, yes.
But you know how like the Warriors all had like theme, like there were the baseball ones, and I could just imagine like a Santa Claus group of the Warriors.
Yeah, there's like what there is there's a rival Santa Claus group, the Elves, and they hate Santa Claus, so they're killing all the Santa Clauses. Okay, you could have done it.
Gang related.
Right? Gang related.
That's true. I get to see the baseball fury from the Warriors showing up and like beating them all to death with baseball bats or whatever. Yeah, that's gang related. All right.
So then we see some more scenes with Cliff and Kate. Kate, she's all like fucking depressed, obviously, because her dad died, and they're just talking a little bit, and then they bring up possibly being married. So we're gonna see if they're going to that next phase of their relationship. So now we have this guy who calls up Powell. Okay, he says he's from the Daily News, and he's asking Powell if he's solved the murders yet. And Powell's like, "Oh, you guys are a pain in my ass." Okay,
and this is Giles, right?
Yeah, this is Giles. Yeah, so he's part of the paper crew, and he wants to know information about that. And then Giles is like, "Hey, how much do you know about this Harris guy?" And he's like, "Well, I work with them. Why does it matter?" I was like, "Listen, like this case can pretty much promote somebody. So if you want extra intel, I'll give you, I can help you basically win this case and get you promoted to like a head office position." He's like, "Well, what information do you have?" It's like, "I'll be in touch." And he closes the phone. And we can tell that this guy, he's a little off. Is the best word to explain it. Yes. So we have Drunk Santa number 1, because there's more than one in this movie. Okay. Walking around the aisle, right? And then he just gets randomly shot in the mouth. Okay. There we go. Another kill. We gotta have a kill every 5 minutes.
Yep.
So now Kate, she's walking around, and then she runs into Giles, and Giles brings up about her father and stuff, and then she's like, "Hey, I don't need to tell the paper anything. I told the police everything, so you go ask them." Okay. So Giles walks away, and he's being all weird and creepy at this time too. So we have Harris. He's walking by himself at nighttime. So we see some British scenery, which I thought was pretty cool in this film. And this is a weird scene, because I'm not really sure if I get this one. So we know that Kate's dad's rich. Or I guess was rich. I'm not sure if she got all the money. I guess she did, because they didn't talk about no fucking mother or anything or something. But so Cliff is outside and he's playing his flute. Okay? And they're like collecting money that way. And I'm thinking like,
this was really
if you're
strange.
fucking rich, why the fuck are you playing a flute out here? Maybe he just likes it. I don't know. Okay?
Maybe that was his job. I don't know. Like, I just thought that whole thing was weird. Like, he's like, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
So he's like playing flute, barely playing flute. Like, he's pretty bad. It's almost like they just had the actor play and told him just play the flute the best you can.
Yeah.
We're not going to overdub anything. Just play the best you can.
Well,
and then she like stands there and holds out her hand for like donations.
Yeah, donations.
But but I don't know. This whole thing's really bizarre.
So
like just. Really
oh, you think this is bizarre? We're not done yet. Okay.
No. So
so apparently this guy named Gary shows up. Okay, anybody with the name Gary, you know they're going to be a little weird. All right. So Gary shows up and he knows Cliff. I guess they're friends and shit. All right, and then they start. Kate's like kind of like excuses herself. I guess she doesn't really like Gary too much. And Gary and Cliff they talk a little bit about Kate's grief. You know what I mean? How's it going? And he's like, "Hey, let's go have a beer." Okay, so they go have a beer, and I don't know what beer.
It's only been a couple of days, right?
Yeah, it's only been a couple of days. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what kind of beer they were drinking, but it looked good because it was in a glass. I was like, yes, we need more beer drinking here on these movies. And so I like this. So they come up with an idea because all men's idea always come up better when you're drinking heavily on beer. Okay.
Absolutely.
So Gary is trying to convince Cliff to bring Kate over to his studio. Okay. So they can take some pictures and have some fun. He's all like, oh, yeah, that might be a great idea. I was like, okay, yeah, just stop by the studio later on today and we'll have some fun. He's like, okay, no problem.
Because there's nothing more that she would want to do it right after her dad died than this.
So Cliff tells Kate, like, oh, we're going to go to Gary's house. Well, why are we going there? I don't really like him. He's like, oh, don't worry. We're going there for tea. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and you're not going to like him anymore after you get there either.
So next thing we know, we go to Jerry's studio. And what is he doing? Mm-hmm. He's taking pictures of some hot blonde with some tits hanging out, brother. If I can just...
Yeah, well, when he shows up to where they're playing, he's playing the flute, doesn't he? She asks him what he does or something, and because he has a camera, and he says, I'm just into cameras. But what he really does is he takes pictures of new girls.
Yes, new girls, yes. And he has a main one, which is Sharon. That's the one we're taking up pictures of now. So Kate and Cliff shows up. Kate's like, oh, fuck, what's going on here? He's like, oh, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. We just came here for some tea. All right? And Jerry is saying, like, yeah, this is Sharon. She's like my favorite model. It might be his only fucking model. Okay? And then Jerry just brings up, yeah, I thought we could do a little double take later. And Kate's like, what the hell are you talking about double take? It's like, all right. It's like, don't worry about it. I think my boy Cliff is trying to play it off so cool. It's like, don't worry about it. Everything will be fine. We'll just take a couple of these pictures. Everything's fine. And the next thing I know, our boy Jerry brings out the Santa Claus uniform and Kate gets all pissed off. And then Cliff's pissed off because, bro, what the hell? I just told you this fucking Santa Claus or dad died in a Santa Claus outfit. And he's like, oh, fuck, how was I supposed to know? And then out of nowhere, he's like, our boy Jerry's like, listen, brother. Don't worry about that fucking Kate girl. You see that girl over there, Sharon? She is ready, willing, and able, brother, to get you going on your holiday needs. All right? And our boy Cliff is like, you're right.
Yeah.
So then, like, out of nowhere, they just go outside. I'm not sure why. No, that's right. They were supposed to take some nighttime pictures. You know what I mean? Like some alleyway pictures of Sharon in her Santa Claus naughty outfit. Okay, so they get outside.
It's like a cloak.
It's a cloak, yeah. So they get outside, right? Our girl Sharon's like, listen, I basically want to fuck you right now. Our boy Cliff's like, fuck, man, I got this one girl over here. I got this girl. I don't know if we could do this right now. It's like, by the way, you're halfway naked. What if the cops come by? And then randomly the cops come by. I was like, what is this? That was convenient.
Well, that was convenient, yeah. And then like I don't know, maybe it's a culture thing that's different, but like I didn't really get his concern. So like I mean, it's not like she's standing there completely naked, right?
Yeah,
she's wearing something. She's covered up by that cloak, from head to toe. But then Cliff says, "I'm afraid they'll think we're a couple of gays."
Yeah, well, yeah. What was up with that?
Like, why? Why would he think that? Like, why would anybody think that? I mean, because. Did he think he was making out with Santa Claus?
I guess. I don't know.
I don't understand. Like,
yeah, that was you brought that up. That was a weird scene where he said that, and I was just like, okay, wait a minute. Like, I mean, this girl is clearly a girl, and she's maybe. I thought he was concerned because she had her tits out. Like, you know, if she like it's kind of like she was wearing like a robe, like a Santa robe, basically, like you were saying, like a cloak.
Yeah, but she was covered up though.
Yeah, I mean, she was covered up from the back, but if you look at her in the front, she's all like basically butt ass naked. Okay, and she was like showing off her tits and stuff. So I thought he was worried about getting arrested for indecent exposure. But next thing you know, it brought up this gay angle. I was like, that was random.
Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah, okay, true, but I mean, she was showing her boobs at the time, but she could have just covered them up with the cloak, though.
Well, yes, but it was weird.
The reason this happened was to move the plot along, so they could get running down those alleys and get separated. Yes. That's why this happened.
Yeah,
but none of this makes any sense. It's like I wouldn't be in the least worried. I don't think I would. I don't think so. I don't think I'd be in the least worried about that. Like if I were like on a city street. And I was with let's say she was wearing a raincoat, but nothing underneath. That's the equivalent of what this is. I don't think I'd be worried about that. I don't think a cop would ask if she's wearing anything underneath it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just weird. Like I just don't.
Well, it seemed like our boy Cliff was more worried about getting arrested if he was gay, which is weird.
Right. Yeah.
Because even in 1984, I think they would arrest you for being gay. Okay.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So the cops, I don't know. The cops come by. They're all like, "Let's get the fuck out of here!" So they run. They run in opposite directions. And this is when we have our girl Sharon. She gets stalked by the killer. We finally see the killer's face, and he's wearing one of those like morph mask. Like, what do you call those masks? Like kind of like a morph mask. Like you could see a face in it, but it's clear. But it's kind of like it morphs your face, and like.
I was going to ask. It's just like a clear, like face mask.
Yeah.
To me, what I wrote in my notes was it looks like they went to a costume shop. It's like, give me the cheapest mask you have.
Yes, that can hide my face.
That can hide my face.
Yeah. Apparently, it's like some sort of like transparent mask or something like that.
Yeah. Which it actually looked pretty good. Yeah. I thought, honestly.
I thought it looked cool too. You know, he had a hoodie on and everything, and he basically is like using his knife and like putting it around her tit and her belly and stuff. I was just like, brother. What did I download? Okay. What are we doing here?
This was like, it got really dark here. Like it was like really dark and edgy. I like this scene.
Yeah.
A lot.
So after that, he just runs away. Okay. And then Sharon.
He doesn't kill her. Yeah.
It doesn't kill her. And she just goes around the alley. The police find her and she's crying. Okay. And now it's the next morning. We have Harris and we have Powell. And they're going to go visit Sharon at her house. And Harris is mad because Powell let her go last night. And he's all like, we shouldn't have let her go. We got to figure out, you know, she might know what the killer looks like and all this stuff. And why the hell did you even let her go? So they go up to Sharon's room, right? And of course, she's still in line. This girl, like, all her outfits were in this movie.
Still naked.
Were naked, showing tits and everything.
Yeah.
So she's like talking about how she couldn't really see his face at all. But the thing that she noticed that the killer she had like smiling eyes and he was tall. And she does talk about like her job. You know, I guess her job is like not only taking pictures, but also I guess she does some, some hooking. All right.
Yeah.
So basically she basically, like I was saying before, she tells him that she didn't see what he looked like at all, but she did say that he was tall and that he had eyes that smiled. Okay.
Yeah, she says she would. He asked her if she would recognize him, and she said, "I would if he smiled."
Yeah, like with his eyes. She said she could recognize by his eyes,
right?
Yes.
Yeah, but then like the cop was like, "Okay, so at this point, does Wait, I forgot. Is she talking to Powell or is she talking to Harris at this point?
Powell. Harris is like not having this shit and he left.
Oh yes, yeah. Okay, I forgot. Yeah. So Powell's actually trying to solve it. So Powell tells her that she should be arrested for indecent exposure.
Well, I thought
this line was pretty funny.
Harris says that, but then Powell's the one that's trying to get more details. Yes, that's where he leaves.
Yeah. Okay. So Harris says you should have been arrested for indecent exposure, and she says indecent. I'm a professional.
Yes, that was the line I was looking for. Yes. Then she shows her tits. I was like, yes. There you go, brother. I like it. Okay, so here comes probably this is one of my favorite scenes in the film. Okay. So we got the peep show, brother. We're at the peep.
Oh yeah.
So we had the orgy house last week, and now we're at the peep show this week. All right.
Yeah, this was like
we see Santa Claus. He walks in there, right? Knocks on the window. We see some cute girl, which we find out her name is Sherry. Okay.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, answer the phone." So they pick up the phone, right? And she's like, "Hey, Santa."
Well, no, okay, hold on. You got to remember. You got to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
So he goes in, and he's looking at her, but her back's to the wall, to the mirror, to the glass,
right.
And she's like dancing because she has like her tape deck Walkman on. And then he like keeps beating on the glass, but she can't hear him. So then he turns to walk away, and then she turns around and sees him, and then she knocks on the glass, and then tells him to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Which was like just this weird like little that had nothing to do with like the movie, but it made her seem like this probably wasn't done on purpose, but it made her seem really endearing.
Yeah, well, no, that had
like
to do with the movie.
It made her likable. Well, that's true, it did, but it made her likable immediately. Like it just made her like, oh. You know, she's a cute girl, and then like when she tells her story about why she's there, it just gets weird. But anyway, we'll get.
Yeah, so basically, the Santa there, and she's like, "Oh, Santa, you coming to bring me some presents?" She's like, "Well, the Santa guy's like, well, I'm not the real Santa. I just work at the mall." This is my first time here. She's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'm not really like this kind of girl. I'm more of a dancer. I'm not really like a model."
Yeah.
All right, and I was like, "Okay," and she's like, and the guy's like, "This is my first time at a place like this." She's like, "Oh yeah, this is all right. This is my first time at this place like this too." And she's all like, "Oh, okay." You know, she's like, and then she brings up like, "Yeah, like my mother owns this place, okay, and
I'm just filling in."
It's like, "Oh, who are you filling in for?" "My mother."
Wow, I didn't even know what to say. My notes just say, "Wow."
And then like this Santa guy is like, "Can we get rid of the glass?" I was like, "What? No." Okay.
What? How do you not know how this works?
And then she's all like, "Well, what's going on, Santa? All right, you got all those kitties sitting on your knees all day?" He's like, "I'd like to have you sitting on my knee."
Wow.
Oh my God! And then
it's amazing.
Oh, it's fucking great, bro! How could you not like this movie? I could not see it because this movie is fucking great, bro. And then she's all like. Then she starts to dance a little bit and touches herself. All right. And then next thing you know, our boy is like, and she's like, "Okay, well, it's going to be $5. And next thing you know, the guy gets fucking stabbed in the fucking neck and then blood goes everywhere and she freaks out and she runs out of there. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? This is crazy. This fucking was great.
Yeah, like blood shoots all over the glass, and then I was trying to figure out how she got out of there because she's like in this little booth, but then all of a sudden she's like running up the steps. But maybe the killer can chase her.
Well, maybe the steps are like maybe it's like a downstairs thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's true, but I mean, she got out of the booth, but then she didn't go. Like I thought maybe. She was running into like a backstage area, but the killer could still chase her. So I don't know. But anyway, the killer's chasing her up the steps.
Yeah, they're chasing her. But then we also cut to a scene where Kate and Cliff, they're arguing about Sharon and what happened last night. And then we see a little hint of Jerry's hand is all messed up. And they keep asking him how his hand got all messed up. And then we have Harris. He shows up to the house. He said like that girl Sharon was attacked last night in the street from a Santa Claus. All right, and then Cliff now thinks that Harris thinks that Cliff is like the main perpetrator because Cliff was there for two murders. He was there for Kate's dad murder, and he was there for for Sharon's threatening stuff. So
But obviously he didn't kill Kate's dad because he was standing beside Kate the whole time.
Yes, but he's still under investigation. Yes.
Right.
And then Kate says she wants to see Harris in private and talk to him privately. Because I guess she does think that Cliff is being a little bit too obsessed with everything. So you can see that the Kate's loyalties are kind of like going more towards Harris. All right. So we're back in Scotland Yard, and the inspector, like our boy Powell, he finds Gills sitting in his desk looking through the newspaper. Okay. And he's like, what the hell are you doing in my office and stuff? And he's like, well, I'm here to, from the newspaper trying to get some, trying to talk to you. He's like, listen, I called up the newspaper and they never even heard of you before at all. Okay. And he's like, listen, how much do you know about Harris? He keeps bringing that up again. He's like, listen, like I know as much as Harris wants to tell me about this case. Okay. And then they start talking about I guess he keeps bringing it up. I know the person who's going to solve this case is probably going to get a promotion and I can help you out with that. All right. And also too, you should keep a better eye on Harris. You don't know him as well as you think you know him. All right. So, and I guess after this, the Powell's like, okay, maybe I should have Harris tailed just to make sure I'm not missing anything. So we have Harris walking downtown, and he is getting followed at this time too. But the person who's following him loses him. So now we're made to think that maybe Harris might be the actual Santa killer during all this stuff.
Yeah, just throw us off.
Yeah, so
or maybe he is the killer. We'll find out.
So now we have another drunk Santa number 2.
Yep.
He sees a bunch of London punkers. He flips them off, which I thought was funny. And then they all start chasing his ass. And then he escapes from them, and he fucking goes into a theater place. He just walks into this place, knocks down this girl with glasses. All right, and then I guess the killer was there, and he killed the girl. I have no idea what happened to this girl with glasses. We don't really see. But this
is where he's running into the London dungeon, right?
Yeah, so first it looks like a theater place, right? And then out of nowhere, this Santa goes into this fucking torture dungeon.
Yeah, so that's an attraction in London.
Oh,
it's been there since the 60s.
Oh, okay, it's a real place.
It's
it looked fucking badass.
Yeah, it's a real place, and it's almost. I didn't go when I went to London, which is one of the things I regret. But it's almost like a. I don't even know if it's still open now, but it's it's not like a haunted house, but it's kind of like a haunted house.
Yeah,
it's like a cross between a haunted house and a wax museum.
Yeah,
but it's it has all these exhibits of torture and murder throughout the centuries and things like that.
Yeah.
And apparently all the weapons in it are truly sharp, as we find out.
Yes. So first we get the devil randomly talks to us for some reason. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we could tell that the mask figure guy is following this Santa. And I like in my notes, it's a wax museum torture room. Okay.
Yes.
So Santa's getting stalked in it, and apparently, I'm not sure if it was the mask, but apparently our killer cannot kill this Santa with an axe because he keeps trying to throw this axe at him, and he keeps missing. Okay. And
it's hard to throw an axe.
Yeah, I guess, but at least practice before you do it or something.
I don't know.
Maybe he just wanted to, maybe just playing with them. All right.
There's nothing worse than an out of practice killer.
So he's running through, and I guess he runs into a real dead body. I guess maybe I'm not sure which victim.
The girl hanging upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I couldn't figure that out either. So so I assume that's a real dead body of somebody that he killed.
I mean, it could have been the girl, the glasses girl from earlier, but why?
Maybe
it was
the employee.
But what we find out, why would he kill this girl when she didn't dress up like Santa? What's the plot point?
But why did he not kill the girl that was dressed up like Santa?
Well, which girl dressed up like Santa?
Sherry.
Sharon. That's right.
Not Sherry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's the only person in the movie dressed up like a Santa that doesn't get killed.
Maybe because of the tits. I don't know.
Maybe. But anyway, he probably killed this girl just to get her out of the way.
Yeah.
Because he was going to have to kill her anyway because she was going to be a witness. So he kills her, and she's hanging upside down with blood running down her chest. It was pretty cool.
Yes. So after the Santa turns the corner, he gets stabbed twice in the belly. So keep your drinking up, brother, because we got another Santa dead.
Another dead drunk Santa.
Yes. So now Cliff and Kate, they're back home from doing like a visit or something. I guess they were doing like some sort of meeting that Harris did not show up to, and they drink some coffee. And Kate thinks that Cliff is getting obsessed about this whole thing, and Cliff, he's just saying like, I just want to, figure out what's going on with all this stuff. So now Kate, she calls up the Inspector Harris's office, but he's not there. He won't be back until later. Let's see.
Doesn't she call his house?
Yeah, she like calls his house. She calls his house, but he won't be back until later. And Harris says this will be so. Well, at first, like Kate's like, she calls up, but then I guess like what's going on is Powell also too. He's waiting for Harris to come back in there because since Harris has not figured out this case, the higher ups are getting onto Harris, and he's coming back there and he's basically telling Powell this will probably be his last case because all these people, the man upstairs is getting on to me too much, and he thinks he's going to be pretty much off the case from now. Okay.
Right.
And like, I guess Harris also too does not like the plan that the higher ups came with, which is putting a bunch of Santa decoys out there. So dressing up, I guess,
doesn't work very well.
Yeah, dressing a bunch of cops up as Santa to see if one of them will try to attack them, and he doesn't really like that idea. Okay, so he's pissed about that. So now we're at this carnival, Harris's, and he's walking around seeing a bunch of Santas, and we show some Santas giving some kids some gifts at this carnival. It's like a carnival. It's like a circus carnival. Okay, and when the show's over, the Santa's going to go take a piss outside. All right, and then the killer comes up behind him with a shoe knife. Okay, so apparently this killer has like a shoe knife, stabs him in the fucking shoe, and then fucking brass knuckles his ass and kills him. And then this other Santa just like walks up to him in the slowest run you've ever seen in your life, and he gets smashed with a bottle and stabbed right in the eye. And Alison, his eye like melts. Did you see that?
Yep, I did. It was like it was liquid.
Yeah, and like
it probably was.
I guess they showed earlier Harris was around there, but he wasn't around there at nighttime. So we're still trying to like. I guess they're trying to make us feel like Harris is like the killer because he's all around some of these killing scenes.
Yes.
Yes.
So I thought those two guys were the cops, right? Yes.
They might have. Well, I don't know. Like, were they? They could have been, because, I mean, I guess that makes sense if they were two cops.
Like they were the undercover Santas.
Yeah, because they didn't really do too much. They were at the circus and they were just hanging out around side. But yeah, so basically, we saw that plan didn't work out, just like Harris knew it was going to work out.
Right.
So now we're in the next morning. Cliff, all right, he is he's outside, and he's playing his flute again, okay? And then they run into Harris, and he's all like, I don't want to talk to this fucking Harris guy, okay? And they're saying, like, hey, have you heard anything? All right? And there's like, no, we haven't heard anything or seen anything else. That's what Kate and Cliff told Harris. So now, because half of this movie, we're led to believe, like the big red herring about this movie is Harris and what he's up to, if he's truly up to no good or not. So now, Sherry, that dance girl, she's back. Okay, and she's talking with Powell. And she's talking about, because they figured out, like she went to the police about what happened. And they kept saying, like, okay, what did you see? Did you see his face and everything? She's like, no, I couldn't see. It was dark, and he had a mask on. And like, Powell's like, fuck, everybody, this guy just has he just will not believe this. He's like, what did you see? You didn't see? Are you sure you saw that? Okay. All right. She's like, he had a fucking mask on. It's like, oh, right. It's like, what did you notice about him? Well, I noticed that his eyes smiled. And I'm still thinking, like, I know our girl Sharon said that. What does that mean? Like, he was super happy? Like, I have no idea.
I don't know. I think it means that his eyes, like, I don't know, like they get kind of wide or whatever when he smiles, right?
Yeah,
Or squinch
I
up or
guess.
something, maybe. I guess.
So now we said, like, okay, well, we're gonna have to get somebody to escort you home. She's like, well, I don't want to go home. It's like, no, you got to go home. You saw the killer. You could. The killer knows that you saw him, so he's probably gonna come after you. She's like, well, I got to go back to the fucking place. He's like, no, peep show. He's like, no, you ain't gonna do that. We're gonna have an officer. He's gonna take you back to your apartment, straight back to your apartment. All right. So then Sherry, she just walks out and she's like, she talks to an officer. It's like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about my ride. I'll just walk home. He's like, oh, I need to wait for your ride. He's like, oh, no, don't worry about it. I'll just walk home. So see you later. So she just fucking leaves. Okay. So she just leaves before the ride shows up. And then she fucking walks away. She goes all the way back to her, the peep show. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is one that we get the scene of Kate. She calls Harris's house this time. And this is when they're talking to the maid, and says, "Oh, he's not here. He's out Parkland right now." It's like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, Parkland." She's like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "Yeah, just call him later on in Scotland Yard. He'll be there." All right, but and just like,
maybe I shouldn't have said that. Yeah. So the people at home needed to be able to hear this.
Yes, exactly.
So they could put clues together.
Yes, that's why I said it. I was booked.
Yes.
All right. By the way, don't tell Harris I said anything about that Parkland place. By the way. So this scene's pretty cool too. So the Sherry, she's back at her job, right? Because she didn't want to go home. She don't care about a killer. She needs to go back and go to the peep show, brother. Okay,
yeah,
that's who she's all about. Okay, she doesn't want to lose any business, brother. All right, she gets back on the call. So like now the killer obviously shows up to the peep show where she's at, right? And she's all like, hey, you know, She tries to make some small conversation, and he doesn't want to talk. She's like, okay, we'll just get right to it then. She's like, you know the rules, right? And he's like, rules? What rules? It's like, oh, fuck. Okay, listen, it's $5 for the top off. Okay? $15 for everything off. And $50 you can do whatever you want behind that fucking glass. And I'm like, fuck, what? We got the whole rules in here? You get $5 for a top. That's pretty good. $15 for everything off.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, brother. Let's go. What's wrong with this? This is great. So the guy's acting all weird, right? And then, you know, Sherry's doing a little bit of dance, and then she looks at his eyes, and she's like, oh, fuck. And then the guy breaks the glass, and this is when we get the fucking running. Then this is where we get the running. From here.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So this is a long run scene, too. Like, she gets all the way outside and everything. And the next thing we know, I thought this shit was going to be some sort of, like, fucking Last House on the Left shit. Because the guy, like, grabs her and brings her down to, like, a lower dungeon and then straps her ass on a bed. I was like, bro, this is going to be... I thought this shit was going to get dark on here, okay?
I was going to say, it's getting dark real quick here.
It's fucking dark really quick. And she doesn't, like... She's like, you know, I didn't see your face or anything. I didn't see, like, you know... She's, like, saying, like, I didn't tell the police anything because I didn't even know what you looked like. I didn't even see your face. And then she's like, looks over and is like, oh, shit. Then she's like, now you saw my face.
Saw his face.
It's like, now you've seen it. Okay. And then he goes on like this moral shit. He's like, yes, you're selling desire, but you think you're selling your desire, but you're only selling your soul and stuff like this. He says, like, I can't let you leave here. I'm going to tie you up over here. All right. And, you know, I'm going to basically he's like threatening to kill her. Okay. And you're going to figure out and wait here because I have to leave, and you're going to figure out the error of your ways. Okay?
Yeah, doesn't he say something like she's going to be a sacrifice for, like, Christmas or something like that?
Yeah, because of how she is, like, how, like, dirty a character she is. So, even though I guess she didn't even fucking do anything. Like, she was, like, her first day. What a first day. So,
yeah, just like a random person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Pal's back. All right. He says he's releasing. This came out of nowhere. So this scene right here was like, okay, I think we missed something during these reshoots, because Pal said he's releasing Cliff once and for all. And I was like, when the fuck did we even book Cliff?
Right. When did we arrest Cliff?
Was that like last time we saw Cliff? He was playing a flute. Like,
right.
I guess, did Harris arrest him while he was playing his flute? I have no idea. because we know that they thought Cliff was like the main subject of the case, but we actually never saw in this movie of him actually getting like booked any.
Right.
So
he never got arrested.
So then this is weird too, because Powell says, "I think I know who the man is. I think he thinks he knows who the killer is now." Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have another drunk Santa walks in the alley. But how many drunk Santas are in fucking London? These people, what a job, brother. Being a Santa, just could be drunk all the time. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you did that job, man, you'd have to be drunk all the time.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So he's in the alley, right? He gets kicked out of this place. I thought it was like another peep show or orgy house, but it turns out to be not that. It actually turned out to be something completely different. That was so random.
Yes.
So he goes downstairs at this chick, and then like, I guess the killer's there, and the killer scares him, so he runs back into the theater place, all the way up to the stage. And then next thing we know, we have a band performing. Okay?
So,
and it's like a girl, like, it's actually a pretty good song. It's like a girl like this, like, totally 80s, brother. I'm talking about the fizzy, fucking poofy hair, glitter everywhere, shiny-ass dress. She's singing... Come and get me, your surroundings. I'm gonna get you. Totally 80s, brother. Fucking, I like this song. I thought it was pretty good. And like, wow.
So that's Carolyn Monroe.
Oh shit, really?
She's a really famous actress in British horror movies in the 70s and the 80s. I have no idea why, if your movie was on a budget, why you would spend the amount of money that she must have cost to get her to do this one scene that could have literally been played by anyone.
Brother, come on now. You know what I mean?
Like she literally plays herself in this movie.
What's wrong with that?
Like in the credits, it just says
maybe
Carolyn
she was a big
Monroe
fan.
herself.
Maybe she got it for half off.
Maybe
brother.
she was. Yeah, maybe she was like friends with them or something.
Yeah, maybe our boy Edmund sweet talked her. You know what I mean? It could happen.
So she's like either doing a performance or she's rehearsing for a performance, and he runs into where her performance is.
Yeah. But the Santa's like downstairs, and the killer stabs him, of course, with a knife, but this time on the face. So a little different.
Yeah.
And
like
then,
a machete kind of.
Then they did the trap door, and then he comes up, fucking knife on the face, and then they all see this dead body there. I thought that scene was awesome. I thought this whole scene was like great. Yes. How can people not like this movie? Like, I fucking love this movie.
I don't know why anybody would not like this. I mean, maybe they should just stick to their art house movies. I don't know.
I guess. So Kate now meets Paul, right? Or Powell. And tells him tells him like, you know, what's going on over here. Some stuff is pretty crazy. All right. And she basically, I guess, Kate, after calling up the maid, did some research about Harris. And because she's like, oh, that's kind of weird with the Paul Parkland thing. And she's telling Paul, like, yeah, like this guy Harris, that's not even his last name. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, this part is semi-funny. Oh, Harris is not his last name? What is it? Yeah, it's not Harris, it's Harrison.
Ooh.
Oh. You could have tricked me, brother. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's like,
you're going to change your name.
Yeah. So this guy Harris, he thought he was swerving everybody, but like, oh yeah, I'll just call myself Harris when his real last name is Harrison. Oh.
Yeah.
The press is going out.
Nobody will ever catch on.
So she's saying, like, you know, he doesn't exist. His name doesn't exist and stuff. And he said, like, she was saying, like, yeah, he was going to this. He's been known to check in every month to go to this Parkland. It's like a insane asylum, a loony bin place. All right. And she's saying, like, you know, Cliff, he had really nothing to do with this because Cliff, when my dad died, he was like right beside me. He was like right there.
Right.
Okay. And then Powell's basically blowing off like, listen, none of that makes sense, you know, with your little fake names and all this stuff. All right. So he kind of blows her off and says, like, you know, keep all that birth and death stuff. We'll find out one way or another what's going on. And I was thinking this whole time, I thought Powell said he had his man. And like, does he not? What's going on here?
Well, he does, but he thinks it's not. He doesn't think it's Harris, though.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, she tells him that Harris has no birth certificate.
Yes, basically. Yes, because, Ian Harris doesn't have any because his last name is not Harris. It's Harrison. That's why.
It's Harrison, right.
Yes.
Okay. Again, he changed his name.
Yes. So we have Sherry. She's back. Okay. Oh, yeah, she's back. We see her back. She's all tied up and she's sleeping. The killer comes and plays some holiday music. So I thought that was pretty creepy. And then this is when Kate, she's trying to call Powell again for another message. I'm not sure what she was saying because she just talked to the motherfucker. And then we have... okay, this is random. So then we have a random scene of a fat guy stares at a hot blonde while holding a holiday ornament.
Yep, that's a pretty good explanation. A pretty good description of what that scene has. Yeah,
that's pretty much
nothing
what happened.
To do with the movie whatsoever. But yeah, that's what's happening. Amazing.
So I'm not sure if I read the sign right that he was going to, but I swear it says, "Come this way for a paddling and Father Christ," or no, Father Christmas.
Christmas, yeah.
For padding.
I didn't see that part, but I did see the Father Christmas thing.
So I was like, okay, fuck it, man. What's this Father Christmas doing? Okay, this is my favorite dust scene because it was so ridiculous.
Yes.
Okay, so this mall Santa's taking his break, right? Goes into the bathroom. Fucking fat as shit guy. You know what I mean? He goes to take a little piss. But a killer shows up with his little switchblade knife, or what do you call that knife again?
It's a straight razor.
Straight laser knife. And he's thinking, like, you know what? I stabbed plenty of people in the stomach. Stabbed some guy in the face, even though I left my straight razor on his face, but I guess I have more than one. You know what I'm going to do to this fat guy while he's taking a piss?
Stab him in the dick.
I'm going to chop off his fucking penis, brother. So he fucking just goes, whip it. Right now. Like, it doesn't even look like he did anything. So was this guy, like, hard while he was pissing? Like, how did he actually, like it's so ridiculous.
He was very accurate with his,
first of all,
straight razor.
Listen, Alison, I have so many questions when it comes to the scene. Okay? First of all, the guy was fat, so we don't know if he even, like, fucking find his penis. So you're telling me that this fat dude lifted up his fat gut, got out his penis, is probably shrinking to fucking death. And this guy comes over to him, like, angles the knife and just cuts his fucking whole dick off. And he just fucking bro. I don't know if you can cut some dude's dick off. If this much blood will come out, but there is blood everywhere from this guy's dick.
I bet it would. I'm no doctor, but I have a feeling that would be a lot of blood.
So this guy is just bleeding everywhere. His whole dick got cut off somehow, even though it wasn't hard. Yeah. Maybe it was. I have no idea. Okay. And fucking blood's everywhere, and he just falls down dead. So he got killed from dick cutting.
Dick cutting, yeah. Well, straight razors are really sharp, so, I mean, it would cut anything that it hit real quick.
Yeah, but, like, it's all fucking shriveled up. Like, what did he fucking... You shouldn't he digged in there a little bit? But no, this guy just...
Well, we don't know. I mean, we didn't actually examine the dick. We just... You know,
they didn't show the dick.
Maybe
part.
It wasn't.
All right.
Maybe it was an easier target than you think.
And then the clean lady finds him all fucking dead and shit. I was like... This scene was fantastic. There's blood everywhere. It was great. I loved this scene. All right, so now Kate, she goes back to Harris's place. Even though, like, she was like... This scene was really awkward. So Kate, she goes to Harris's place, even though she was, like, telling Powell that Harris is, like, a fake. You know what I mean? But then she goes to his house, okay? And... Harris answers the door, you know, saying like, "Oh, I just want to see you. Like, I thought this was a 24-hour service or something." I was like, "Okay." So they talk about his study, and our boy Harris, like, he looked like he wanted to fuck this girl. Okay, he was just like,
she probably did.
And then Kate, she was kind of bringing up those vibes too a little bit. So they're talking in her study, and basically Harris is bringing up like, "Yeah, I pretty much got fired. Or I resigned from the case because of all the fucking shit that was happening. They kind of, like, got me out of there." And then, like, Kate's just like, "Yeah, Cliff, you've just been so weird lately." All right? And then Kate's just like, "You know, the only person I feel close to right now is you." I was like, okay.
Weird.
And I thought this was, like, Kate, like, trying to, like, lure him in. You know what I mean? Like, because he just released like that he goes to an insane asylum and he's using a fake name. So then they have dinner, right, at a restaurant. Okay, and she asked about his name, Ian Harris, and then the guy's like, "Oh yeah, that's not an interesting name at all. Like, I'm not like Scottish, I'm not British." Ha ha ha. I was like, "What the hell?" And then Cliff shows up at the restaurant, and he gets kicked out for not being dressed up. And then Kate's like, "Oh, look, Cliff showed up." And I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Well, did I miss something here? Because, like, at first it felt like Kate was trying to trap Harris to give up, like, he was the killer. And then maybe Cliff was there to, like, do something. But the way they shot it was to make it look like Cliff was jealous of Kate seeing Harris. It was just really strange.
Right.
Can you explain this to me?
Which, I mean, he probably was. No, I can't explain
because the problem is, too, like, Kate, after this whole scene happened, Kate is just randomly at her apartment, okay, in a bathrobe. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, really, nothing after this scene in the movie really makes any sense.
It makes sense. So, next thing we know, what's his name? Gills shows fucking up out of nowhere. Giles, whatever. Shows up now. We haven't seen this guy in like fucking 5 scenes. Okay, he shows up out of nowhere.
Right, but all of a sudden he's back.
All of a sudden he's back, and he's all like, "Hey," he's like, "How the hell did you get my apartment and stuff?" And he's like, "Oh, you must have figured it out." And I was like, "What is what did I miss something here? What do you have to do with anything?" And he's like, "Yes, you must."
Maybe this is some of those reshoots, like you were saying, that we missed information.
Yes,
but it's like they point out flaws in the movie, but then don't give us an explanation. They just give us some bullshit explanation. Yeah. So like he has no reason to know where she lives or how to get into her house, but all of a sudden he's there, and then she points out the fact that he wouldn't know how to get there or how to get in, and then she says, "Well, you must have just figured it out."
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's basically what goes on. So during all this stuff too, the pal, he gets a note as well about something as well. So Giles is showing up. He's in the apartment. She's like, "What the hell are you doing in my apartment? You're not welcome here." He's like, "I'm a citizen of the earth, so I'm welcome everywhere." I'm going to use that line. I'm just going to fucking show up and like, "Yeah, I'm a citizen of the planet. I'm welcome everywhere. I'm a very important member of society." He also says that too. And she's like, "I bet you need a call from Harris. He's like, don't call him. He's going to take me away." All right. So she's like, he's like, "Nah, I didn't need the police or nothing to tell me. I figured it out all by myself." This is what Kate's saying, the maid and the stuff. And I figured out that you, Giles, you're Harris's brother. All right. He's like, "Oh, you're very clever." And I was just like, wait a minute. Wait, well, hold on a second.
How does she know that?
We didn't see any of this progress. All we saw was her tell Pal that this guy is fake. Okay. And he visited the hospital.
We know she went to Parkland.
Yeah.
Because she talks about going.
Yeah.
But so we're assuming she somehow figured all this out when she went to the mental hospital. Yeah. But she doesn't explain it doesn't explain how she knows all this stuff, and all of a sudden she just knows that they're brothers.
Yes. So I guess somehow in the whole dinner, maybe I think there was a scene at dinner that maybe Ian told her that, yes, I have a brother who's a loony bin or something. Maybe which is the scene we haven't seen. I have no idea. So then Giles is going on like, "Harris, yes, he changed his name to." I'm sorry, this is still funny to me. "Yes, Harris, he changed his name from Harrison. All right, when I went to the loony bin. All right, so he can
Nobody would ever figure this out.
So he can disguise himself." I was like, brother, come on now, what? So now Giles, he's saying he doesn't like his brother. All right, even though my brother visited me every month at the hospital. And my brother used to tell me about all these police stories. So you know what I do? I thought I'd make a real story for him to talk about. All right. And he's saying, he kills and he hates. He's saying like he's he hates this holiday season. All right. And he hates, the reason he killed the dad is because he hates Christmas time. And the dad just so happened to be, and this is Kate's dad, so happened to be in a Santa costume. All right. And then Powell calls, and then Kate's like, oh, this must be Harris. Let me answer. He's like, no, don't answer that shit. And he chokes her with I can't believe this too. This is fucking awesome. He chokes her with like, what do you call that thing? Tinsel? Like, what the hell was that? That little like Christmas thing.
It was like a, not. I don't think that's tinsel, but it's like those things that you put up.
Yeah,
I don't know what you call them. They're like shiny and they hang down on the walls, and like you put on a Christmas tree. The things that break if you just pull it at all.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He choked her out with that. Like he choked her for a minute, and then he stabbed her in the belly. And there goes Kate. And I was like, whoa, what is going on here? But I thought she was like the main girl. What is going on here?
Right. Okay. So like, okay, let's pause for a second. So at this point, the only people that could possibly be the main character,
the
final person, is Kate or Powell.
Yeah, Powell.
And we just killed Kate.
And we killed Kate.
Yeah, so we just kill the person we think is going to be the final girl, so she dies.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
that's what I was.
So we gotta swerve,
right? So now we continue on, right? So we
then,
gotta swerve.
So then Powell goes to the house after, like, the girl not answering, and he finds her dead. And then Powell's like, "What happened to the special squad?" Okay, and it said the special squad, like they calls them up, and apparently the special squad is basically the people who were trying to tail Harris, and they said they lost him a long time ago. I was like, what? He was just at a fucking restaurant.
And we never found him again.
We never found him. All right. And then also too, they did say like, yes, we lost him, but then we found him and he's been out in his apartment the whole time. And then Powell's like, well, who the fuck could it be then? I was like, motherfucker, you thought you had your man. Like, what's going on here? Okay. So now the cop tells now out of nowhere, the same spy cop tells Kyle that, hey, we might have our man here. We found some guy walking in the old garage. So it's actually Giles. He's actually hiding in the garage, and the cop is coming in here. And then this is like one of those scenes, in horror movies where the guy's hiding and, the suspense happens. And this is kind of clever, where Giles, he put like the like a charging, what do you call that thing? Charging clips on the car, and the cop touched the car, and he basically blew up. Uh-huh.
Yes,
I'm not sure why they decided to be in there, but they
electrocuted him with the jump start for the car.
Yes,
that's like what it is.
The jump start for the car. Yes, he got killed by the car blowing up while he touched it. Don't tell me how that really makes sense.
Now Powell's dead.
No. This is not Powell. This was the detective cop that was following Harris throughout the whole movie. Okay.
Oh, right. Okay, never mind. You're right. I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah. So now after the cops guy and stuff, we're back with Sherry. Okay. And we see Sherry and we see Giles. They're like sitting next to each other, and he got her some food, and she's saying, well, I can't eat without my hands where my hands are tied. He's like, oh, yes, that's right. And then she says, like, hey, it's Christmas. Like, I guess she knew that somehow. And Giles like, I fucking hate Christmas. All right. And he's like, I fucking hate this Christmas and this holiday. And then he tells her, like, don't escape from here if I let you go. And she does like the little cross with her fingers. And then she starts bringing up, oh, why do you hate Christmas so much? They got great stuff. They got like presents you can give. You can get like these stuff. She's saying stuff about Christmas, and he can't handle it. Like his brain can't handle it. He's like, going a little crazy about her telling all this stuff about how great Christmas is. And she tries to escape, but she can't because Giles, he has the key. All right. And he throws her down. Mm-hmm. All right. And he's about to kill her because this is going to be his sacrifice for Christmas.
Yeah.
And he hates Christmas. He thinks everything about it is evil. All right. And then she just throws the fucking chain in his face, which I thought was funny. And then she gets out. She gets the key and gets out of the door. And then he follows her. And this is weird too. And I thought this is very anticlimactic for this character. So they run up like 1,000. I don't know where this place came, but they ran up like 1,000 fucking stairs. Okay, they get to the very top of like whatever building that they're in. and he's about to attack her with his weapon, and he misses. He tries to attack again near the stairs, and he just fucking falls down. Okay? So he falls a couple feet, pretty good amount of feet onto like a piece of the stairs or something. And our girl Sherry, she goes up and checks him. And she's like,
she knocks him off the railway. Doesn't he fall off the railway and then fall?
Yeah, falls all the way down. Yeah, and he lands on something. Yeah. He lands on like some piece of something. And she goes all the way down these stairs, and she goes to, see if he's dead or not. And he wakes up and he chokes her, and then we cut to a scene of a young boy. Okay? So well, first we cut to a scene of a sleeping Harris, and then we cut to a scene of a young boy watching his dad semi-flirt with, like, I guess, a younger woman. And then all of these women and men, I don't know if it's his family or co-workers, I have no idea. They all come in to give Giles and Ian some presents. They all open up their presents and stuff. Next thing we know, a young Giles goes up to a room. He opens the door. He sees the Santa came in. I guess the Santa was supposed to be their dad. They gave out the presents by the way. Dad. So then after that, when he opens the presents, he goes up to the room. He sees the Santa dad fucking on the girl from earlier.
Yep.
And he cannot believe it. And then during this whole time, we hear like this whole mommy speech, like, "Oh, you're my favorite son. You're my this son. You're so great." And then the mom comes in, and the dad gets pissed off about the mom watching him fuck this other girl, so he slaps the bitch down the stairs. Okay. Yeah. And then then he slaps Giles, and then we have Giles on the staircase looking evil, and that's how he turned into hating Christmas.
Because of this thing.
Yeah, because of this. Even though like it didn't show if he killed his dad. I don't know if he did a Michael Myers where he killed his fucking dad or some shit. I have no idea what happened to the dad because they don't show it.
Well, we know he had to go to the mental hospital.
Yes. Why did he have to go to the mental hospital? I guess, did he kill the dad? I have no idea. He just stood there on the stairs and looked evil.
I was guessing that he did kill the dad, but that is a guess. They don't tell us that. Or maybe he just went to the mental hospital because he saw his dad fucking some other girl.
I mean, did the dad blame?
I don't know.
Did the dad blame Giles for pushing the mom down the stairs? I have no idea. Okay.
So, and we'll never know because they didn't tell us.
So then Ian wakes up. And this is our fucking ending that we had to keep in this movie, by the way, guys. Okay, we had all these reshoots, but then when our boy fucking Edmund came back, he's like, "Brother, I want this ending." Okay. So he gets up, right? And he's like, "Oh, that was a weird dream. Oh, fuck it. I got a lot of crazy family."
So at this point, is the whole movie a dream?
I don't know. No, just that scene. No, just that scene. He just, I guess it's Christmas time.
He was dreaming that scene of Giles.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Because I wasn't sure.
Yes.
It's hard to tell.
So he gets back up, right? He opens up that present. You remember that one from earlier that said don't open up until Christmas? So he's like, "Oh, it's Christmas time. I'll open this shit up." So he opens up the fucking present. And it's like one of those, like, those ballerina boxes, but this one had Santa in it.
Yeah.
All right. And he's like, "Oh, this is nice." You put it right there. Sit down. Have a little tea and crumpets. Brother, read my little newspaper. Everything's going fine. And then, bam, explosion. End of the fucking movie.
When I saw that, I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh, my God. Like, bro, this movie was great because it's so wacky, but I loved it. Like, I loved almost everything about this movie because it was just so out there. Like, what is going on here? This is crazy.
None of this makes any sense. None of it makes any sense at all. Like, it's like
what the hell happened to Powell?
So, like,
did he ever get his man?
I'm pretty sure Powell is the guy that died in the by electrocution.
Okay, I thought it was because we did see the guy.
Doesn't he?
Go ahead.
Because I remember him calling. So when Giles kills Kate, doesn't he call and talks to Kate on the phone, but you can't answer because he's choking her?
Yeah.
And then he ends up going to the junkyard with a car hiding.
Well, no, what happened was he went to the Kate's house, and then he told these other cops what happened to my special forces, which was his like patrol cops, And he asked the patrol cops, like, hey, where's this Harris guy? Well, the Harris has been at his apartment the whole time. And I swear they cut back and we just saw the guy who was I thought the guy who got electrocuted was the fucking the spy guy. But I could be wrong about that.
I mean, maybe, but it doesn't explain what happened to any of these people. Like, what ended up happening to Giles? Giles just killed Sherry and continues on with his life. And then he blew up his brother. I guess maybe you might be right. Maybe Powell is the guy who pursued Giles into the junkyard. So maybe I'm the one that's wrong. Maybe what I think I missed was they probably talked to each other, but then they said, oh, we might have found our guy over here, and then that's when he goes into the junkyard. So I probably just missed that part. And then there's a note on the present that says, to my loving brother, or something like that.
Yeah, to my loving brother.
Christmas.
Yes.
So Giles had sent him this a bomb and a Christmas present.
Perfect, brother. I loved it.
Wow.
So, but yeah, this is a good movie. You know what I mean? I highly recommend you guys, if you haven't seen it, just watch it because it is very interesting. It's very, it's
pretty nuts.
It's pretty, it's just out there. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. So I think we're starting off this holiday season pretty hot, brother, because this was definitely a fun one. So, this ain't no so fucking, it ain't going to change the way movies are made. You know what I mean? But but if you want like some cheesy, like slasher London shit going on, it's pretty good. So. But everybody, that has been the full review of Don't Open Till Christmas. But of course, you can open up this podcast anytime you want. You know what I mean? Yep. We're the gift that keeps on giving. But coming up here next week.
What are we doing next week?
On the Retro Blood, brother. We are going back to some more slashers. And we're going back to some dorms, brother. Because we are talking all about the dorm that dripped blood.
Oh man, I always love these co-ed college slasher movies. Love them.
College slasher movies, brother. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can live up to the hype of this movie did. So this one is. I don't know too much about it, but I do. The reason we picked this one is because it just so happens to take place on Christmas, so that counts.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep, it counts.
And then
any movie takes place during Christmas counts.
Counts, brother. So. But yeah, but like I said, like everybody, this one was a pretty fun one. I was pretty surprised of how much I liked this movie while watching it. So it's definitely fun, definitely worth checking out. So,
I really expected to hate this, and like a lot of these movies that are bad, like I'm kind of bored when I'm watching them, and I'm like, oh my god, when is this fucking thing gonna get over?
Yeah.
This thing flew by.
Yeah, it flew by.
Mostly because it doesn't make any damn sense.
Exactly.
But I just kept watching it to get an explanation that never came.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great though. Great movie.
Oh, by the way, like I said at the end of the week, so we can do a sequel. Okay.
Well, we can, yes.
Because Giles, technically, he probably didn't die.
Nope, he just killed Sherry.
So we can either do a direct sequel where Giles is still out there killing Santa Clauses, and then we can have a whole new cast of characters and they bring him down once and for all. Okay. Or we can do it, 20 years later in the future where Giles has a son who had the same tragic stuff happen to that son. And it just so happens that the gene of hating Christmas and Santa just passes through him this whole time. So you can do it. You can do some dark stuff over here. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Where you can have it like where Giles like kidnapped Sherry, and like that was like his like kidnapped victim for like a bunch of years, and they had a kid together unwillingly, and that kid would grow up to be another killer. You could do some dark shit like that, or you could do just a direct sequel where he's like going out and every year he would be known as the Santa Killer. So you could do a couple different ways with it, but that's pretty cool. Maybe one day in the Retro Bloodland we'll do Don't Open Until Christmas 2. That'd be fun. So.
Maybe.
But everybody, we're gonna be heading on out of here. Alison, what's that song title called again?
It's called "Turn Up the Radio."